Good morning, everyone, and good morning, Mr. Budi. In this occasion, I would like to present my proposal research. The title is The Correlation Between Student Vocabulary Mastery and Speaking Ability of the 10th grade student of SMK Rekayasa Denpasar in the academic year 2024-2025. For that, I would like to introduce myself. My name is RATNA with the last four digits of NPM 0092. Here is a table of the content. And for chapter 1, introduction, speaking skill is an important ability for students because it is essential for effective communication in both academic and real-life setting. Truck C 2003 states that spoken language was the first form in human communication, and Brown 2004, page 140, states that speaking ability is challenging to master because it includes all of the components in English. To overcome speaking problems, we don't only need media or strategy only, but also need to be supported by vocabulary students. According to Mahfiro 2010, word symbols idea. Without word, human cannot communicate and interact with each other. In SMK Rekayasa Denpasar, students also experience speaking problem. And the researcher formulated the research problem as, is there any significant correlation between vocabulary mastery and speaking skill of 10th grade student of SMK Rekayasa Denpasar in the academic year 2024-2025? So here is chapter 2, theoretical review and empirical review. According to the Brown 2001, speaking involved the creation and transmission of meaning using verbal and nonverbal signal. And based on Wells et al. 2010, vocabulary mastery is the component of a list or a collection of words that support language development applied by individual, classes, or world. This is an important skill that is the main foundation of the language. And for the empirical review for the first research is by Yuwinda 2015, entitled Relationship Between Vocabulary Mastery and Speaking Ability of Class 11 Student at MAN Model Palangkaraya. The instrument is the same, vocabulary test, work, and speak. Meanwhile, the difference lies in the research subject. The subject of study is high school level. Meanwhile, the research subject is a vocational high school level. The reason is that there are not enough vocational high school students tend to use their cognitive abilities to the maximum compared to the students in high school. The reason is also supported by their achievement, especially in English. And second research by Faris 2017 entitled Correlation Between Student Mastery of Vocabulary and Speaking Skill in Third Semester Student Department of English, University of Muhammadiyah Malang. The similarities are found in these two studies which focus on the correlation between mastery of vocabulary and speaking skill. The instruments are the same, vocabulary test and speak, meanwhile the difference lies in the research subject. The subject of the study in the English department, meanwhile the research subject is at the vocational high school level. The reason is that junior high school students are less likely to use it cognitively optimally compared to English subject. And for the hypothesis by Arikunto 2006 state that a hypothesis is like a temporary answer to a research question until all the data is obtained. There is a main hypothesis called the alternative hypothesis, HA, which state there is a relationship between variable, and there is the null hypothesis, HO, which state that there is no relationship. The following is this hypothesis for this research. HA, there is correlation between speaking skill and vocabulary mastery of the student of SMK Rekayasa Denpasar. And for HO, there is no correlation between speaking skill and vocabulary mastery of the student of SMK Rekayasa Denpasar. And for chapter 3, research method, and the first one is research design. There are two types of variable in this research. The first is vocabulary mastery and is considered as the first variable independent variable, X. And the second variable is their ability to speak, and that considered as the dependent variable, variable Y. Researchers will try to determine if there are correlation between student mastery of vocabulary and grammar on their ability to speak in interviewing student experience. For the population and sample, the population of this research are 10 grade students of SMK Rekayasa Denpasar of academic year 2024-2025. There are two classes. They are 10 TBSM1 and 10 TBSM2. And TBSM1 consists of 27 students and 10 TBSM2 consists of 32 students. So all the population is 59. Based on Arikunto's theory, if the member of the student consists less than 100, the sample becomes all the population. So the sample is taken by using total sampling technique by Arikunto, 2010, page 177. And for this research instrument, in this research, the test given will involve creating and presenting a short monologue in the form of written text to assess students' speaking abilities and vocabulary. As stated by Zainal Arif in 2016, page 118, a test is a strategy used in the context of varying of measuring activity. In this, it involves a sequence of questions or tasks that students must complete or respond in order to measure aspect of their learning. And questionnaire given at the end. In the present study, the researcher will prepare a structured questionnaire. The questionnaire is typed in Indonesian to avoid misunderstanding among students. This questionnaire is one that is in column form and consists of 10 items. Student put a tick on questionnaire item column, and there are 5 options that the subject can choose. And for data collection, to collect the data of this research, the researcher will use two kinds of instruments. They are vocabulary test and speaking test. Vocabulary will consist of 5 pictures and speaking will consist of 5 questions. The researchers gather the data of vocabulary test and speaking ability by the following step. The first one is the researcher will give the picture to the student. And the second, the researcher will give score 5 for the few vocabulary limited while doing monologue and 1 for the use of vocabulary is limited and difficult to understand. And for the last, the researcher will the total score of each student to collect the data on the student speaking test. And for the data analysis, to analyze the data, the researcher will use quantitative analysis. Quantitative analysis is an analysis that is used to count a group of a number as the basic source. The data analysis method that the researcher use such as the first one is vocabulary test. And to assess vocabulary test, researchers use the Arifin formula 2009. And it in page 241. Then the formula is as follow. And the second one is speaking ability. In speaking ability test, researchers use the test only have form speak. Assessment rubric is used to determine ability score speak. And the third one is the coefficient correlation between student vocabulary and speaking ability. And the researcher will find the coefficient correlation between student vocabulary and speaking ability by using formula suggested by Sugiono 2010, page 190. So that's all about my presentation of proposal research. Thank you for your attention. Have a great day.